Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I am Douglas Knurr, Provost and Vice Chancellor for Academic Affairs, and I have the pleasure of welcoming you to the 2017 State of the University Address. Plenty of seats down here by the deans. They don't bite. Well, not all of them, but yeah, some of them. Over the summer, I met so many faculty, staff, and students who remarked about the many wonderful things going on in and around our university. That is certainly true, as we will hear today. But I also heard a steadfast dedication to our core mission and our commitment to our shared vision under Chancellor Borrego. It is my great pleasure to introduce Sue today. She is a person who holds very deeply and takes very seriously the goal of building a diverse and genuinely inclusive community, and in finding common ground so everyone can fulfill their potential. In my view, it has never been more important to have a leader with these guiding principles to take us into the future. Colleagues, our leader and best, Chancellor Susan Borrego.
Good morning. Good morning. Thank you. I want to welcome everybody here today, faculty, staff, students, and guests, and those who are also watching online. And if you could hear my 2-year-old grandson, he'd be going, Nana, Nana, lake house. So yeah, he has me associated with one thing. I'd like to acknowledge the senior leadership, so I'm going to ask the cabinet to stand up, please, and the deans to stand up. They really are the people who keep me moving, so thank you. I would also like to recognize some guests who are here today. Mary Coleman, I won't make you all stand, but I will call your names. Monica Galloway, Councilwoman. Kimberly Roberson from the Mott Foundation. Terry Weisner, alum and strategic planning volunteer excellente. He was just remarkable in working with the strategic planning group. Kim Nag, Nita Kulkarni, and I know Nita's folks are here, so welcome to them. Ken Leslie, and Gary Jones, and Jane and Cyrus Farahi. Oh, and I didn't get to see them coming in, so welcome. I would also like to welcome our Student Government Association President, Abdul Salman. And if you haven't met Abdul, he is a GEC student who is now our student, but he's been around about 7 years and is one of the most remarkable young men that you will meet. He was at the House last week with student government talking about his philosophy around planning, and I thought, oh my goodness, he is going to take over the world. So if you get the chance to meet him. And thank you to the campus facilities and event teams, not only for the work of this day, but they did a great deal of work as we opened school with a whole bunch of events. And I'm sure you've noticed this because I've heard people talking about it a little bit. I'm not sure the campus grounds have ever looked as beautiful as they look. So thank you to all of those facilities and grounds crew. You should know that Chancellor Emeriti, both Juan Mestis and Charlie Nelms were in town over the summer. And Charlie was taking a ride around campus last week, and all he kept talking about were the flowers and where the flowers were and how beautiful. So I think it's a real point of pride for us. Thank you for joining me today at the State of the University Address. If it seems like deja vu, it is. Because we did one in the spring. But we talked a lot about moving this event to the fall so that we could really use it as a forward-looking event to be communicating and letting people know together what kind of priorities there would be for the year. And I don't need it all to do 2 speeches in 6 months, but there was so much momentum through the spring that I didn't want to miss the opportunity to share that with you today. And serendipitously, Rosh Hashanah opens tonight, the Jewish New Year, and it's an excellent framework that inspires a bit of looking back and looking forward. Every time I have the opportunity to pause and reflect on the state of our university, I'm amazed by who we are and what we accomplish together. This is the beginning of my 4th year on campus and as part of the Flint community. And more than ever, I'm conscious of the critical role this university plays in the city, the region, and the state. Together as a campus, we are educators and thought leaders, teachers, researchers, and implementers. We're a campus of innovative minds, problem solvers, and enthusiastic learners. We're community partners, volunteers, neighbors, and friends. We're often a source of constancy, permanence, and hope in this community in times of uncertainty and volatility. By design, a university is a marketplace of ideas. We strive to provide space for all kinds of conversations, people, ideas. It's this diverse environment that provides rich opportunities for learning. Look around the country right now, and you'll see many examples that illustrate the fact that we are living through one of the most polarizing periods in modern history. And if you were out for the Crim a couple weeks ago, that was right on the heels of one of the events of unrest around the country. And I thought, and here we are, where we get branded in Flint, Michigan, with over 10,000 runners and another 50,000 guests, visitors, citizens spread throughout the city of Flint for a run, for a road race. No incidents of violence, no incidents of any of the kinds of things we were reading about. And it wasn't lost on me. I had the opportunity to sneak across the street and go up to the 10th floor and look down on where the race was happening. And you could see people all the way along the start line, all the way through where they ran around campus. They had to change the route this year a little bit. But I was very proud to be living in Flint, Michigan, and standing out there at that moment in time. It's one of the reasons why our role in this community is so important. On our campus, we offer a space where civil discourse is valued, where we can get together and discuss issues like the events in Charlottesville or DACA or tax reform without resorting to violence. We can host major candidates for the highest office in the land, providing a place for civil debate on issues important to both our community and our country. Together with our community, we are working our way back from one of the worst public emergencies in recent memory. It's been part of our context in Flint for the past 2 years. On campus, we've created classes, tested blood, mapped pipes, hosted the first filter distribution. We added new scholarships and K-12 programs. We created apps, volunteered at distribution centers, and helped to open a high-quality early childhood center for young children affected by the water crisis. As an anchor institution in Flint, we partner with the community to provide research, service, and opportunity, sometimes creating new ways of seeing and new ways of learning and new knowledge as we work with our community to determine how to prosper. We provide access to a Michigan degree for students who want to obtain a quality degree and stay closer to home. And I would add, they often say, have smaller class sizes and be able to work with their faculty. We do this because it's our home, not an extension site or a research site or a place we drop by to take some samples and leave. For more than 60 years, we've been like mortar in this community. When you look at a building, people don't often look at the walls and say, oh man, isn't that mortar beautiful? But without the mortar, the wall crumbles. And that is exactly the kind of role that the University of Michigan plays in the city of Flint. Together, we demonstrated the resilient spirit of this community and managed through the most challenging of circumstances. We continued to enhance the quality of life in the region. In fact, I would argue that we buckled down and did it more. And as a result of our collective hard work, we're starting to see signs of growth again. Enrollment is one of the indicators that things are moving in the right direction. When I first came to campus, I saw a number of opportunities with respect to recruitment and retention efforts. That belief was shared by Christy Hottenstein, our new Vice Chancellor of Enrollment Management. When she joined us in the early summer, our projections indicated that we would be down across the board in enrollment, and particularly in first year and transfer students. But thanks to the hard work of the entire admissions team, some of them who are in the room this morning, we've some positive results to report. In mid-July, they created, or she created with them, I don't know which story they would tell, a Celebrate 60 campaign to bring in 60 additional students not already in the pipeline. And guess what? They did it. Our FIDIACs, does everybody know what a FIDIAC is? I did not know that when I came here. First time in college, FIDIAC. And then you want to know how to spell it, don't ask. Our FIDIACs are up by 6.88%, totaling 684 students. Our strategic enrollment management goal in this area was 650 students for the fall semesters between 2015 and 2020. So they exceeded our goal this year. Thank you to them. Our transfers are down 2.5%. The goal from admissions was to mitigate the potential loss of new transfers to no greater than 10% by the fall of 2020. So we're on schedule on this goal, despite the enrollment declines at Mott Community College, which is our main transfer source. And this year, we will be broadening with a strong focus on increasing transfer opportunities. With the residence halls we have, we think we're really strongly positioned to be able to get students who are interested in a Michigan degree here in Flint and want to transfer from community colleges across the state. Dual enrollee and early college enrollment is up by 2.7%. You'll see, if you follow those reports a lot, you'll see some moving around because this year we have new early colleges. So instead of dual enrollment, we have a number of people that have moved to early colleges. Combined, our K-12 partnerships and programs continue to grow. And sharpening our focus and practice on retention has also begun to demonstrate success. Our first-year retention rate of the fall 26 full-time cohort is 77%, up from 66% last year. And I don't know if Fawn is in the room, but there she is. She carries a little paper in her pocket, or someplace tucked, wherever she has it in. She's been updating me on retention figures every day through the weekend, even though I did not require that. She said it was her OCD, so... And she has great sunflowers, too. Our transfer retention cohort is over 79%. That's a 5-year increase over last year's 74%. These are great trends worthy of a small victory lap. And let me say, I've said since I came in the door, we should never be chronically under-enrolled. There's just too much going on, and we're starting to make that turn. It's not just the quantity we celebrate today, but the quality of our incoming class as well. A preliminary profile of our class suggests a GPA over 3.4%. That means we're hitting the right notes, recruiting the best and the brightest from the region that want to come to the University of Michigan-Flint. And we're making it simpler for them to attend. When I got here, I noticed that we had some competitors who were buying our top students. Our students as seniors in Genesee County knew what kind of scholarships they were going to get from other places before they knew from us. So we instituted those merit scholars you heard about last year. Today we have an additional over 200 merit scholarships awarded this year, and over 370 merit scholars are on campus this fall. We've added 12 new academic programs since 2014 and modified 3 others to better reflect areas of study that students and employers want from a university. Promising and timely new programs, such as the Bachelor's of Science in Respiratory Therapy and Occupational Therapy doctoral programs within the School of Health Professions and Studies, or the new major in substance use treatment and intervention in our School of Education and Human Services that builds off of one of our most popular minors at the University of Michigan-Flint. We are adapting with today's students and responding to the critical needs in our region. It's gratifying to see that some of the steps we've taken with results to enrollment are beginning to yield positive and sustainable results. I again want to thank everyone in working on recruiting new students, the enrollment management team and the academic leadership for their hard work in orchestrating such positive momentum for our campus. It's a momentum we're also experiencing in the area of student success. Pardon me. In our efforts to attract more students in the years ahead, we must also assure we empower them in succeeding here on campus, providing opportunities for students to develop the tools they need to reach their full potential. Like with a physical therapy student, Monica Godeshun, who was recently honored with a national award from the American Physical Therapy Association for her research related to balance and mobility in cancer patients, with the tremendous support of a faculty team led by Associate Professor of Physical Therapy, Dr. Min Wong. She has gained extensive experience in professional research and has connected with researchers and peers from across the country. Or like our students involved with the chemistry club, who once again, and I don't know how many years running now, are the recipients of the Outstanding Student Chapter Award from the American Chemical Society for the 2016-17 school year. When I left Germany this summer, Zena Elkadeh was trying to figure out if she was going to return home to Egypt, come back to Flint, or accept the offer of employment she had from her German company where she was completing her internship. Her education here at the university positioned her for a variety of possibilities. Zena graduated last spring. These are just a few examples of our student success. Increasing student success is something to which I'm deeply committed, and I know to have successful students, we need strong, supported faculty as well. They are two sides of the same coin. Recent commitments helping our faculty pursue research and other professional development opportunities include the provost and I have identified nearly $1 million to directly support faculty research and faculty student research over the past 2 years. And when we're out, people say, how come we didn't know that? I'm not sure why people didn't know that, but it was a significant contribution because we heard you say you needed more support and more research dollars. Our Office of Research and Sponsored Programs, get this, and this is not a wrong number, reports a 498% increase in awarded funds in 2017 versus 2016. It's something over $20 million in 2016 compared to about $2 million in 2017. That is remarkable progress from our faculty and staff that are working with sponsored programs and the leadership in that office. And the faculty are making the most of these opportunities. Faculty like Heather Dawson, Associate Professor of Biology, who was a recent recipient of our Senior Faculty Award. I don't know if Heather's here. If she's not, tell her we talked about her. Professor Dawson recently conducted research with students on the Great Lakes sea lamprey, which has been accepted for publication in the Journal of Fish and Wildlife Management. When asked about the value she finds in working with student researchers, Dr. Dawson said, quote, "I've never conducted a research project that didn't include students," end quote. And that's the dedication to our university's mission, shared by many of you. The commitment to engaged learning is one of our distinctives. I've never conducted research that didn't include students. Thank you, Heather, and thank you to our entire faculty for your dedication to U of M Flint ideals. I appreciate all you do. Another sign that we're taking a step in the right direction comes from our alumni, friends, and donors to the University of Michigan-Flint. In spite of the difficult fundraising environment we're in, and when the crisis hit, lots of funds, rightly so, went to 0 to 5. You know, every place we were, that's what we heard. But in spite of that, the alumni and friends of the university stepped up in a major way to put our campaign ahead of schedule. We had originally set a goal of $20 million raised by the end of 2018. We increased that goal to $40 million about a year and a half ago. And I'm pleased to announce that as of September 20th, 2017, we have raised more than $51 million and counting. We are one of the University of Michigan's best performing fundraising units when they compare us across all the departments in the University of Michigan's $4 billion campaign. We're seeing more donors give to our campus than ever before, and we're incredibly grateful for their enthusiastic support of our mission. We've also seen an increased number of donations from our campus, from many of you in this room. Many of you listening today also have donated in the campaign to the University of Michigan-Flint. And I think it says a great deal when the people who work here every day also are the people who contribute to the university. So thank you to every one of you who contributed. I really do appreciate that. When I talk to alumni and donors, I hear the same thing again and again. They are proud of the university and pleased to have a University of Michigan-Flint degree. This spring, there were a number of listening groups related to the strategic planning. I hosted a dinner with an alumni group in my house. Some of them graduated from here before the university was downtown. Some of them attended their classes in the CROB. They talked, and you all know of the CROB, and they still talk about it. And it was really powerful to listen to them talk about the fact that they were working and coming to school and doing their homework and putting their kids to bed and going back to their homework. And they just had really powerful stories about how the faculty supported them in degrees that they might not have otherwise been able to achieve if it weren't for the university being here at Flint and the faculty being so committed to their development. And that's a story I still hear in my 3 years. Our students today are talking about the same thing, about how faculty and staff at this university really helped them make it through. Now, I see Margie sitting back there, but you can't take this story out of here. Yesterday, we did pop-up pizza over in the White Building, and I ended up at a couple tables with the students who were doing the accelerated nursing program. And all they could talk about was A, how exhausted they were, and B, how amazingly supportive the staff and faculty were in that program. And they were talking about who went through what was going to be necessary with them, and when their eyes glazed over, the kind of support they had. And there were 2 tables of them who will finish, some of them said in 2 months, and some of them said in 67 days, 10 hours, and 32 minutes. But we are likely to have a remarkable group of nurses coming through that accelerated program, and it was fun to talk to them and hear them again talk about the support of faculty and staff on campus. All these things tell me we're on the right track. Our work is not complete yet. We can't throw our hands in the air and celebrate just yet. We've not reached our final goal with fundraising, even though we've exceeded the big goal. We set a goal of $20 million for student support. Those are internships, research, all kinds of student support. We've raised $13 million towards this most important goal. And in a vacuum, that's great news. In the context that we have 7 more to raise, for this final year, this is our focus. We will work tirelessly to meet this target and find additional support for students that will help them with scholarship, internship, study abroad opportunities, experiences we know that add to the value of their degree. Many of you interact with students every day. There are students in our classes who haven't been to Detroit. There are students in our classes who haven't been up north. Some of you know I was one of those students that didn't travel, and I used my passport for the first time in my 40s. My partner made me get a passport because she said she couldn't be with someone who didn't have one. She grew up in the Philippines, and it sat in the drawer for a decade until my son traveled abroad. And he wrote these remarkable letters from Africa. And at the end of his travel abroad, he wanted to stay and hike Mount Keeley, and he laid out for me how he could do that. And I said, I'll meet you at the end of your hike. And he was like, you will? We're writing back and forth. And I said, I wanted to bear witness to what he'd been describing for the whole semester, right? So I said to Mary, I'm going to Africa. I'm going to meet Bryce at the airport. She said, you're going to do what? You've had that passport 10 years. I can't get to use it. And like that, you're going to go to Africa? I said, yeah, I got free miles. So my first travel abroad was as a result of my son's travel abroad, and I got to see firsthand the kind of difference that makes. Many of you sitting here are taking students abroad, and we know that we want to get more resources to make that possible for more of our students to experience because it's life-changing. And again, thank you to our University Advancement team for their commitment and dedication to helping us achieve such an important milestone, one that will benefit our institution for years to come. Perhaps our most significant and transformative recent achievements was the development and unanimous approval of our strategic priorities. This most important accomplishment truly sets the stage for the next few years. I'd like to take the time again to thank the entire campus for your participation and valued input on outlining a roadmap for our future. I especially appreciate the tremendous work of the Strategic Planning Committee under the leadership of Dr. Hiba who knew I would mess up on doctor, of Dr. Hiba Webe Alama. And I have to say, I smirk every time I say this because I know what it felt like to work with her through the semester. It took my breath away. So those of you working on that committee, you had to be doing the same thing. And it was remarkable work. But I have not met somebody who can do that, teach her load, bake all of the things that she did every time she brought food. I'm sure if she picked up the backseat of her car right now, or the back of her car right now, she'd have a whole bunch of food in there today for somebody somewhere, and then started making her own soap as a hobby. And it's really nice soap. But in fact, maybe she should do that soap. We should sell it for scholarship dollars. I'm not sure Dean Andrews would appreciate that so much. But that work was so critical to the university and done so very well. And I just wanted to speak a little bit to that work. Together, we completed an ambitious process that was inclusive, visionary, and progressive. Together, we developed a set of priorities that builds on the unique strengths of our institution and addresses the evolving needs of the region we serve. I didn't know if they were going to serve them. The first priority was defining a distinct identity that builds campus pride. The tremendous work behind the development of our recent brand awareness campaign identified very distinctive and unique attributes about our institution. This in turn has given us a stronger, more concise view of who we are and how to best promote ourselves to the region. And let me just say a little bit about this. So the same time that the strategic planning group was going on, there were groups doing market research and interviews and all of those kinds of things. One of the commitments in my life through the course of my life in higher ed has been to understand that students do not come to us as empty-headed vessels for us to fill in. This place, the University of Michigan-Flint, gets that more than any place I've ever been. That really our students come and there's an exchange of ideas. We have things to offer, they have things to offer. But often what students bring to campus isn't acknowledged in the front end. And what I'm most proud about our campaign is, as you see it start to unroll, is it says we're looking for scholars and teachers and artists. You know, we're looking for researchers and scientists. We're looking for who you bring to this campus when you join this community of scholars and learners. And you'll see more as that rolls out through the fall. Pursuing excellent education and scholarship across the institution was the second priority. We will increase support and continue to increase support for original research, scholarship, and creative endeavors. Endeavors like that of College of Arts and Sciences, Shelby Newport. Shelby is shepherding the Department of Theater and Dance's new dramatic dialogue series, beginning this semester with Baltimore. It's pursuing a powerful and progressive academic approach to engaging our faculty and students in deep discussions around important social issues, and there couldn't be a better time. Our third priority, cultivating a student-centered culture focused on retention and success, we must continue to focus on student success and support that, like is currently happening in the Educational Opportunity Initiative, which is enhancing our efforts to equip students with the services, skills, and exposure necessary to succeed in college and beyond. Academic departments and academic clubs provide students with additional opportunities to enhance their learning, and we will continue to work to develop the out-of-class experiences that enhance student life. All of those things are markers of retention. Those students involved in the chemistry club, we really don't have to worry about them. Somebody's got them on their radar, right? And those clubs are critical to our retention. Our fourth priority, enhancing recruitment through high-quality programs in campus life. It was hard for us to limit this one to just a couple paragraphs. Our distinction of our academic programs is the opportunity for students to work directly with faculty. Another is our commitment to engaged learning and the internships and hands-on experiences students have. So it's that ability to work with faculty and ability to have those hands-on experiences that sets our students apart. That's one of the reasons Zaina was offered this position in Germany from her internship, because she brought to the table a really wide range of skills in her internship in Germany. The summer I had the opportunity to visit our students at one of the exchange partners, University of Wuppertal in Germany. Now, I know that Bob Hobeck is sitting down here. I'm an island person. I should say I had not been to Europe, and I was asking if I should take my snorkel when we went to Germany. But we were only going in there for a few days. We had hosted the Chancellor of Wuppertal and his team a year ago, and he invited us there this year to see our students and intern sites and meet with different faculty on campus. I have to tell you, we talked with a whole bunch of faculty, but several faculty said to us that our students didn't need time to get up to speed when they got there, that they arrived in Germany, dealt with their jet lag, and jumped right into their research assignments and began to make contributions immediately. And he talked about how well prepared our students were. And our students have been exchanging with Wuppertal for 5 years now. So that's, again, high praise about who our students are. And I know the School of Management has added new exchange programs for students at the University of Ljubljana in Slovenia and Burgundy School of Business in France. So those kinds of opportunities, and if you could hear our students today tell you what that opportunity was like, you would really be impressed at their experience this summer. Our students enter the global marketplace prepared at the highest levels of academic rigor, grounded in their majors, yet able to think and act across disciplines as creative problem solvers. Our programs enable students to address the challenges of today and create the opportunities of tomorrow. And the fifth priority, identifying and securing vital partnerships with an engaged community. On one hand, I say, how do we even begin to talk about our partners in the community? Let me give you a couple examples. The EDA University Center, a collaboration with businesses, nonprofits, economic development professionals, and community leaders, works to promote increased economic activity through the 7-county I-69 thumb region. And when we were awarded the funding, it was a very, very competitive grant process that ended up being centered here. With us doing that work at the University of Michigan-Flint. Our Innovation Incubator, also known as IN, which provides technical support, one-on-one counseling, and business mentoring to various communities, to community locations across Flint in efforts to cultivate business minds and entrepreneurial spirit across the city. That group has now gone out into the community instead of expecting everybody to come here to meet with people who have the potential to start a business but may not be connected and may not have all of their ducks in a row. These are priorities that your work identified and will shape our university for several years to come. Let me say that again. These are your priorities. These weren't developed in a room somewhere sitting. This is what bubbled out of your collective effort and Hiba's shepherding work with us. I look forward to working together with all of you to implement these guiding priorities across the institution. At the end of spring, we agreed we would begin the planning and implementation work this fall when faculty and students return to campus. We also completed the climate survey in the spring, and there was a great deal of positive information, and there were also information about what we needed to work and how we needed to prioritize items that would make our campus a more open and inclusive environment. Over the summer, the Cabinet prioritized recommendations of the Strategic Planning Committee and discussed various mechanisms for taking the next steps, both related to the strategic plan and the campus climate. We don't want to lose the momentum, but we also want to find a way to be able to shepherd that process in a way that allows you both to do the work and not be so consumed by the planning part of it that we don't get to the implementation part of it. We will vet those outlines with various university groups as we move forward this semester. As we look to the year ahead, I'm energized by the progress we made and the plans we have in place to expand upon it. I'm proud of the dynamic faculty and staff that I'm honored to work with as part of this diverse community. And let me add here, I spoke of mortar once already. That's always been a big deal to me. Even in my family life, I think bricks are holidays or but it's that mortar. It's that time you have when, your kid says to you at 3 o'clock in the morning, "Mom, are you sleeping? Can we chat?" That's a true story. But I want to talk about the mortar that our staff at the University of Michigan-Flint represents. I said it before, without the mortar, the walls fall. So much of the work done by staff is only seen in its absence, right? It's only when something doesn't work right that somebody realizes some staff member is in charge of that. If you talk to me about oxygen every day, I don't think about it until you do this, right? So I just want to pause here for a moment to say that the hundreds of staff who are the mortar and make this campus work, if you all went home tomorrow, the walls would surely crumble. So thank you for all of your efforts. I'm invigorated by the enthusiastic and hardworking students we work with every day. We get to come to work with our students. I'm humbled by the tremendous support of our community partners and generous donors who believe in our mission and cherish our institution as a critical part of this region. As I close, I'm reminded of a quote by Helen Keller. "Alone we can do so little. Together we can do so much." Over the past few years, our campus has overcome some challenges, and we are poised for strong next steps. I truly believe that we can accomplish great things for the University of Michigan-Flint, our students, and our community for years to come. Thank you so much for all your work and all of that you do on behalf of students in this community, and go Blue.
Another big round of applause for our chancellor. Thank you. Thank you for coming today. We're adjourned. Continue to enjoy the festivities. Thank you.